Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to the conversation. So today, I got a pretty interesting topic for you guys, and I'm going to be talking about my man, Jason McIntyre, okay? Jason McIntyre is a regular contributor, to FS1, FS1 Sports, usually comes on there, gives his take on certain issues. Now, for those of you who don't know, he used to be a sports writer, and he was one of the people that really, pioneered the whole blogging thing, and he came up with a pretty good show, which is called The Big Lead, and he was the founder. And I guess for all the success that he had writing about sports, Fox Sports ended up sort of looking at him as a contributor that will come on and talk about different things, relating to sports, not just basketball, maybe football and other things. Now, for those of you guys who watch Bayless and Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed, you get to see a plethora of different people come on there and talk. Sometimes you see Rob Parker, sometimes you see Chris Broussard, sometimes you see Jason McIntyre, sometimes you see Greg Jennings. You see a lot of former players come on there and talk. And generally what happens is these guys come in, when you see a lot of them on a consistent basis is when they come in to replace Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe when they go on break. And my question is Jason McIntyre a horrible replacement for when Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, are not on the show? And that's what I really want to get into in this video today. Now, I discovered him just like most of you did when, the show started a number of years ago. And I remember seeing him for the first time on Undisputed. And, he's kind of like, in my opinion, he seems kind of a bit cringeworthy when he talks. He has kind of like an annoying laugh. He laughs at things that really aren't funny. And a lot of times, he has these pretty much out there takes that he has. And if you watch him as of late, you'll see that they have a panel of 4: Rob Parker, Greg Jennings, Jason McIntyre, and Chris Broussard. And a lot of times, whenever he comes to make his point, he's like all the way out there by himself. And if you can see, if you watch him on the show, you see him and Chris Broussard and Rob Parker have a lot of pushback. There's a lot of friction, and Craig Jennings just sort of follows the trend of what happens. That's why he never really opens up the discussion. But watching this guy talk, began to make me really sort of question as to why in the hell with Fox Sports, why do they put this guy on TV? Because I know, watching different shows, different videos and reading comments from what people, their feedback, or listen to this guy speak, it seems like a lot of you guys out there are sort of baffled like me, like why the hell is this guy on the show? And a lot of people, if you read their comments, a lot of them are in there saying, oh my God, I can't wait, for Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe to get back. And it makes me wonder why the people at Fox Sports will put this guy on. Now, some of you guys watching this video may say, hey, they do it because, it's going to get ratings and, more people are going to tune in. I don't really think so. I don't think a way to get ratings is to bring in people that completely annoy people and turn them off. A good way to get ratings is to provide contrast. But this guy, Jason McIntyre, doesn't even provide contrast. He just says a bunch of outlandish stuff. But before I go too much further into the video, just check out a clip of him talking about this anonymous GM or executive that came out and said that he gives the Lakers 0 chance against the Clippers in the playoffs. Against the Lakers, the Clippers in the playoffs. Just check out this video.
Let me follow Greg, okay? But let's go through the Clippers starting lineup. You tell me about all the titles Patrick Beverley's won. 0. How about Lou Williams? Let's go Paul George. Let's go with Montrezl Harrell. What have these guys won that have you, all in on the Clippers automatically beating the Lakers? There is 0 evidence that there's no way that the Lakers have.
The Lakers haven't made the playoffs in 6 years. I mean, you're talking.
What do you mean the Lakers? No, Kyle Kuzma wasn't even in the league 6 years ago.
But I'm still just telling. I'm telling you that when you say this, I go back to Toronto that hadn't won jack, that hadn't won anything.
They needed the Warriors to get injured.
No,
that's what they needed.
No, Kawhi beat Giannis. They were up 2-0. Don't give me that. They beat Giannis. That was a favorite. Yes or no?
Yeah, they beat Giannis and a bunch of guys who've never done anything.
Were they up 2-0?
They were.
And they dominated the first 2 games. And what happened?
Dominate. Well, game 3, we won't go back to the referees.
I'm just going on that don't act like they didn't earn their way.
This idea that the Clippers are have championship pedigree. How about what Doc Rivers is a great coach. Okay, what's he done? He won with Boston. How many titles?
Last year might have been his best coaching job without a star.
He was great. We agree. But the idea that he's some Hall of Fame coach who's one of the best
He is
ever.
a Hall of Fame
Yeah,
coach.
but I mean, come on. Is he that? He was almost fired like 3 years ago. Well, because the Lob City couldn't do anything. He couldn't break through with Chris Paul. This idea that the Clippers are some unbelievable juggernaut that's going to steamroll the Lakers and everybody within their path, that's just false.
Now, if you listen to him speak in that little soundbite that we just played for you guys, you can hear him sort of talk about Doc Rivers as if he's an afterthought. He goes, "Who is Doc Rivers? You know, like, I mean, what has he done in his career?" And when you listen to him make that statement, you have to take a step back and ask yourself and say, is this guy serious? Who's Doc Rivers? Doc Rivers is probably the best coach in basketball. He won an NBA championship managing some of the most difficult personalities of all time. He had to make Rajon Rondo, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce work. Imagine being the coach that had to manage all of these different personalities and then win a championship within the first year of constructing the Big Three. And he's had success pretty much everywhere he's gone since that point. Now, in the clip, he makes the point of saying, well, Doc Rivers almost got fired in the last year. What coach didn't almost get fired? Probably with the exception of Greg Popovich, who pretty much has sort of a Bill Belichick influence over the San Antonio Spurs, who's the president of basketball, coaching, and everything else. He pretty much runs that organization, and it seems like the ownership sort of lets Greg Popovich steer the organization in any direction that he sees fit, and it's worked out for them to the tune of 5 NBA championships and not missing the playoffs for probably like, I think, 15 or 12 years in a row. So, you know, Greg Popovich is a case onto himself, but no one is going to dispute the fact that Greg Popovich, Doc Rivers are amongst the best coaches in all of basketball. So when he says stuff like that, you know, causes me to pause. Another thing that he says is that he seems to talk about Kawhi Leonard's championship as if it was like a fluke. Okay, he says, you know, had it not been for the Warriors, you know, players being injured, you know, Kawhi Leonard would have never had that championship. And that seems to be sort of the narrative a lot of people seem to leave when they're talking about the Kawhi Leonard, you know, run that he had with the Toronto Raptors. Now, if you go back in time and if you've been watching basketball for the last 5 years, pretty much every team that's won the championship has had a lucky break. Let's go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016. What was the thing that turned that series around? It was the thing that Draymond Green, the spat that he got into with LeBron James that caused him to get, you know, suspended for the next game, which allowed the Cleveland Cavaliers to get back in that series. You don't have to look too far if you think of Zaza Pachulia, who was the reason that Kawhi Leonard got injured a few years back playing against the Golden State Warriors, and the San Antonio Spurs were up on the eventual NBA championship. They were up on them but like 20 plus points by halftime, something that the Cavaliers were not able to do. If you look at the Golden State Warriors run, that, you know, the first couple of runs that they had, you know, going against the Houston Rockets and Chris Paul not being available for Game 7. So every team that goes on to win championship gets lucky, you know, has a lucky break here and there. But it doesn't mean that those teams are scrub teams. Like, these teams actually have to go out there and play these games and win them. So that's one of the things that kind of, you know, when people say stuff like that, kind of irk me a little bit. But Jason McIntyre, I'm beginning to believe by listening to him speak. Now, I'm not saying that he's not an intelligent person. Obviously, he must be an intelligent person to have success in his life. But when he talks about certain sports issues, as far as the way he reasons some of these things out, I think some of his takes are just flat out outlandish. And if I was on the show, I would tear him to pieces. Because to win an argument against someone like this, you don't need to be a genius. You just need to have some reasoning and just be able to attack some of the points that he makes. I wouldn't even argue my points. I would argue his points, because that's one of the rules to being a great debater. You don't argue your points. You argue the points that the person is putting forth. That's one of the things that I wish would happen. And, you know, some people in the comment section say, hey, man, it seems like all you guys do is Clippers videos and all this stuff. What we're trying to accomplish with this channel is we're trying to provide some balance, okay? If you turn on ESPN, if you turn on Fox Sports, every single day they're most likely going to be talking about the Lakers or something like that. They pretty much talk about the same things every day. So therefore, we need to provide some balance. If we make videos talking about the same thing that these guys talk about, then that makes us no different than pretty much any other channel out there talking about sports. So we're trying to provide, as we say in our slogan, a fresh take on sports. And that's why, I mean, I haven't heard anybody doing a video about this talking about Jason McIntyre. And I'm sure a lot of you guys who watch this show are, just cringe a lot of the time when he makes his points. And I think that, I mean, he makes cases like, he doesn't believe, he believes the Lakers are going to beat the Clippers, yet there's no evidence to that, even being true. The Lakers and Clippers have played twice this season, and they've lost every single matchup. I can understand if it was a tie, if they were 1-1 against each other, but the Lakers haven't been able to come away with a win yet. But yet this guy he just goes out there and just says all kind of crazy stuff. And I can talk about this for hours, but what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that the next time Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe are unavailable, maybe they're on leave or whatever it is, that Fox Sports should look for someone else other than Jason McIntyre to be a moderator? Because to be quite honest with you, he doesn't even seem to be able to do that job properly. A moderator is supposed to guide a conversation, not be the one that, starts, spewing your own opinions and all of this. That's what a good moderator does. He or she directs the conversation in a particular direction. You don't necessarily need to know what that moderator thinks. I think the minute the moderator starts going into what he thinks and all of this stuff, then you become an analyst, and then it just becomes a straight up talk show, right? And if you watch Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe, and that's the reason why they work so well, is because the show is organized. The producers did a really good job of organizing the way these guys sort of go back and forth at each other. And I think that, in their absence, the show suffers. Now, I don't know their ratings when they're gone, but from my opinion, when you have dudes like Jason McIntyre, I mean, I have no idea why they picked this guy. Of all the people out there you could pick that knows something about sports, I don't know why you would pick this guy to be the one that, is spearheading your show. For me, I can't stand watching him. So what I want to know from you guys, again, do you think that Fox Sports should find someone else to replace, Jason McIntyre when Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless are absent? Or are you happy with the work that he does and you like the takes that he has? Whatever you think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I really want to know what you guys think, because I'm pretty sure I'm not on an island right here. I'm sure a lot of you guys feel the same way that I feel. Again, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to be notified when all of our newest and hottest content comes out. Once again, this is Charles here from DreamersPro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Peace.